time off. It's just been too damn hot here. It's staying late into the evening, like 5 o'clock. It's like, it's been wildly hot. So anyway, I've been leaving a little bit early and just haven't felt like doing the videos from home. So I generally like to do them here at work. So anyway, took some time off, but back at it again. We got more stuff making, got lots of stuff going on in the shop, building all kinds of fun stuff. But man, it is wildly hot right now. So trying to get through this heat wave, and I think it's supposed to end, I think Wednesday, something like that. So hopefully we're back to normal. But anyway, want to do a video today. Want to get back and let everyone know I'm still around. And talk for today is you have to make something, guys. Like, you're gonna have to learn how to use these, because truth is that most businesses are gonna get rid of people. Like, they're trying their damnedest to just get rid of people. And the more things I listen to, it just seems like everyone that can is getting rid of employees in any way that they possibly can. Like, they can't deal with employees anymore. People are not employable as they used to be. And even though we sent all these people to college, people's skills and even the way that they act with each other, it doesn't really align with corporate America anymore. It doesn't really align with a lot of just businesses. A lot of people just don't have the skills today, the soft skills that we had, even 15, 20 years ago. It's changed a lot, and there's a lot of resentment out there. And I think that employers are basically just saying the hell with it. We're just, as soon as we can, outsource your job to AI, we're going to. If we can get robots in here to do your job, we're going to do that. We're going to do anything we can do to not have to hire people anymore, because it's just not worth it. I'll go through why a lot of these things are happening and what I think is going to happen. I think everyone's probably going to end up on some form of UBI, which is really scary, because the truth is as business owners, it's like we're going to pay for people through our taxes, whether they work for us or not. Like, we're just giving our money away to people, and we can try and employ them here, but we're going to pay for them when they make a lot of mistakes. So they're not very trainable, they're not super employable, they mess up the culture in your business. You're paying for it that way. So either way, you're going to pay for these people. And I think a lot of people are just like, the hell with it. We're just gonna stop paying for people, and we'll just give them some form of UBI, and they can all waste away. They can owe nothing and be happy, as they say. Yeah, it's a little depressing, to be completely honest with you. But that's kind of something I was listening to today, and so that's what we're going to talk about. So anyway, my name's Eric Wilkin. I own the Responding Car here in St. Louis, Missouri. We're a small furniture company. We have we do, I don't know, probably 500 pieces a year. We've got about 9 employees at this point, and we make boutique furniture. We are known for our high gloss lacquer coating. We're a small 7-figure business, and I try and do these talks once a day for the most part, around 5-ish, somewhere 5, 6 o'clock, and just talk about kind of what's going on, shoot the breeze with people, and just kind of let them know what we're doing here in St. Louis, making furniture. And I talk about this as someone who's an uneducated person. I never graduated high school, and just figured out how to do this thing. Had several businesses that failed. I've always had side businesses while I had a regular business, and just tried to get something that was my own. I've wanted my own business since I was really young, probably because my stepdad had his own business when I was growing up, which ultimately failed. 9/11 killed that business, which I would have been around 21 at that point. And anyway, point is that I moved all over America and worked hard, learned a skill, which was furniture making. I learned this skill in Oregon. I learned it in Wichita, Kansas, Tulsa, Oklahoma, Savannah, Georgia, and just grew these skills over the years, and finally was able to get a business that is semi-successful, right? That like I said, this is our 8th or 9th year, I think, at this point. And it's hard. You're not going to make a crap ton of money doing it. But in my opinion, it's better to work for somebody else, and you get to chart your own course, right? A lot of the things that people tend to whine about as employees, you don't really get to bitch about as an employer, because you make the rules, right? You chart your own course. Your success or your failure is basically up to you. There's that saying, I forget who said it, but whether or not you believe or whether you believe you can win or whether you believe you cannot win, either way, you're right. So I've kind of always believed that I'm going to win, and I just kept at it. And then again, now I'm here, got a pretty decent business, and it's been good to me. And but it's very hard. It's a difficult way to make a living. But I don't have to worry about my job being outsourced. I don't have to worry about some foreign country or factory doing what it is that I do, because truth is that most people can't do it, not because I'm super skilled or my crew is super skilled, and they all are, but the truth is that it's just too damn hard, and that's the thing. Like, you can't design the kind of furniture that we design, deliver it here in America the way that we deliver furniture, painting the kind of furniture that we paint. Like, you can't outsource it. It can't be done anywhere else. It's just too damn hard. Requires way too much work. And that's the reason that it won't be outsourced, and that's the reason AI will probably never take my job. And if you're someone that works with your hands, it's going to be very difficult for someone to outsource your job. So truth is that you got to learn you got to learn to work with your hands. Like it's just you got to make something. You got to make something that can't be outsourced. You got to make something that it's a good word I'm looking for here. You got to make something that can't easily be sent overseas to a computer. So the way we do it here at the Resplendent Crow in St. Louis is that we hand make really nice high-end furniture, right? Furniture that uses a lot of different kinds of trims, a lot of layering details and all these kind of things. And it's very difficult to replicate because it takes a lot of R&D just to get the initial design down, to get the initial processes down. It's very difficult. So guys, I know we got people coming in. I appreciate everyone saying hi. I will say hi in just a minute. But if you have to make something that's really interesting and very unique. Otherwise, people will simply just copy it. They'll send it overseas and they'll send it back here to America and they'll make it and then sell it at a massive profit. And if you can come up with something that's very unique, that is very difficult for somebody else to build, it's you got to win it. And that's the thing that I'm always telling you guys in this channel is that you have to make something. Like it's very important that you make something that is unique. You learn to design things and you do something that is really hard. Because if you do something that's hard, you can't outsource it, right? And this is the thing. Everybody wants to do the easy work. And that's fine. I mean, I do too. But the truth is I'm too damn dumb. Like I know it. Like I never graduated high school. I've just worked hard my entire life. And that's the recipe that worked for me. And I know it's going to be the recipe that works for other people. And it's a tough thing to tell people, to be quite honest with you. I know it's not really what people want to hear. But the truth is that, again, I'm in a shop that's 92 degrees right now. All my, I'm just covered in dust and sweat, and I just drink Gatorade and beer all day, and it's why we have a business. Nobody can do it, So when someone's looking for furniture in Florida, right, someone that works for a corporation or has a business that's very wealthy, they look for really nice, beautiful, high-end furniture, and the Resplendent Crow ad comes up, and we make that furniture here in St. Louis and deliver it to New York, right? When we're delivering to, high-rise penthouse apartments, when we're going to Nantucket or we're going out, whatever, to Martha's Vineyard, all those kind of places, these people are looking for really unique, special stuff. They don't want to buy stuff that's made overseas. They don't want to buy stuff that other people can make. A lot of people are trying to start businesses right now where they basically just what they call white label stuff, right? They buy furniture that is already made, and then they are able to sell it as their own. And that means that anybody can do that, and therefore it's not very difficult. And so there's a chance for it to be outsourced, right? There's a chance for other people to do it, and then now you're competing with a whole bunch of people. Whereas if you can make something that's very difficult, this very difficult process, it's very difficult to get rid of, So that's kind of what it boils down to. So we're going to talk a little about that. We're going to talk about UBI for a second, and we're going to talk about why you got to work hard. It's the only thing that's going to be left because, I mean, you guys see it today. There was an article the other day, Microsoft, I think they got rid of something like 7,000 or 9,000 people, but then immediately applied for a whole bunch of H-1B visas, right? I mean, what's that tell you? They don't want your American expensive labor. We're going to talk about why employing people in America is just a losing battle, right? And I say this as an employer, right? I hire people, and I hire Americans, and I hire people that work really hard, but I'm going to tell you why it's a losing battle hiring people. Like, society is not moving in the direction that it really needs to move, And this is all just my opinion. Y'all can have whatever beliefs you want. So anyway, we'll go to the comments real quick, and then I'm going to go to get back on topic here. Okay, so who's this? We got Howitzer back in here. Good to see you, dude. Glad you're here again, Izzy. Remember you? Can you make a dragon out of wood? I could make a dragon out of wood, but it wouldn't sell. My customers are interested in dragons. I do make something called pagoda furniture, which is has a lot of Japanese influence, and it's pretty cool, So go on to theresplendentcrow.com. You can type in pagoda china cabinet, pagoda faux bamboo. Type any of those things, and you'll see the pagoda cabinet that we make. I'm also doing another version of pagoda hood. So the pagoda hood that I currently make is like, you gotta think it's like a bunch of compounding angles, that kind of go up in a trapezoid type shape, and you got like the traditional pineapple motifs that you see in the faux bamboo. But now I'm getting ready to do a scalloped one, right? So you guys will see that, and I don't know, you probably see that before the end of the year. But just a variation on a popular china cabinet that we make. So yeah. Okay, who we got? Got Ishmael in here. Ishmael Brown, good to see you, man. See, B&M Custom Furniture, good to see you again. See, what woodwork you do? We do custom furniture. We also paint vintage furniture. We have also production-oriented furniture. We also own a hardware company. So we make and sell a lot of brass hardware, like really high-end, beautiful stuff. So again, you guys can see all the stuff at SplendidCrow.com. We don't sell you anything other than furniture. It's just furniture. It's very high-end. It's beautiful stuff, and it's a good business, but it's very hard, right? You know, all the prep work that goes, not only to make a piece of furniture, but to prep it for either stain or paint, especially when it's high gloss lacquer. It's very labor intensive. It's very time consuming. It's dirty as F. I mean, it's just one of those jobs that, again, most people don't want to do that stuff. You know how many people I've had come in here like, here, we're going to sand furniture. They're all enthusiastic, and 8 hours later, they're done, or they never even show up the next day. It's just too damn hard. You know, most people don't want to do it, and that's okay. It's just, that's why I'm in business. So, okay, let's see, we have custom furniture. Let's see, where are you located? So we're in St. Louis, Missouri, and we're here. There's a place called Delmar Loop in St. Louis. It's kind of trendy, touristy kind of place, and we're just behind that in an industrial area. And I always tell people, if you're ever in St. Louis, just look up their Splendid Crow, stop in and say hi. You know, it doesn't require any special contact. You just walk in. It's a big pink door. We like to show people what it is we do. We're always pretty inviting group of people, and again, we like to show off what it is we do. I like to show off our factory, and I like to show how we paint this furniture. A lot of people think it's just paint furniture, and it's quite the process, to be quite honest with you. It requires a lot of prep work, a lot of labor hours. The average piece of furniture requires about 24 hours of just prep and paint. I mean, it's a long time to do one piece. That's just a standard size dresser. China cabinets can take twice as long, depending on how big they are, because you have so many, you know, different parts. All the trim sticks that go on the fretwork, that go on the doors, you know, that have the glass, you know, all the individual drawers, you know, masking everything off, sanding with different grits, priming it, sanding the primer, painting, sanding the paint, repainting, so on and so forth. And it's a lot of work, man. My guys are the best, and you got to treat them well, and that's what we need to do. That's what we want here in America with people that want to start their own businesses and that want to avoid this whole AI thing that's coming through, employers just laying people off willy-nilly. You got to do something that really provides a lot of value, and that's why we take really good care of all of our people, and especially our freaking sanders. The guys that sand furniture all day, like it's 92 degrees in our shop right now. These guys are in there sanding, you know, and it's, you just, hats off to those people. I mean, they're the reason I can be in here talking to you guys, you know, because they're busting their ass in there. Which is amazing. And that's what we need. We need more people that just want to work really hard, like what they do, like seeing, you know, getting something done every day, being able to look at what they did and go, yeah, I did that. That's really cool. Go home and tell their wife, their husband, their kids, like, yeah, man, I sanded this, you know, $10,000 China cabinet, or, you know, I built this freaking $20,000 desk, whatever it might be. Like, it's a good thing, you know. So anyway, all right, let there a couple more comments. Let's see here. BM Custom Furniture, like me, not wrong. So we got Bunny Bomb Studios in here. Bunny Bomb, good to see you. So let's see. What's it, Cervantes? I just double tap the screen with my tip. Oh yeah, well, you guys, we always love those comments. Again, I love all those kind of comments. Just make sure you hit the like button. I appreciate you adding to the conversation and help kick this thing around to more people. And that's what we're gonna talk about. We're gonna talk about furniture. We're gonna talk about business. And that's what I do on this channel. I just tell you guys what it's like running a business, all the BS that I deal with as a freaking normie. Like I said, didn't graduate high school, didn't go to college, didn't do any of that stuff, just busted my ass, and it can be done. Like you hear a lot of people on the internet saying today that, oh, there's no jobs. I put in, you know, it's always like they're trying to one up each other. I put in 100 applications. I put in 200. I put in 1,000. Everyone talks about all the applications they're putting in and out. No one can get hired. Like, so I've never had a problem getting a job. I get people walking off the street that want jobs. We hire people right off the street. Like, there's lots of work out there. The problem is that most people don't want to do it. And that's what we're talking about today. We're talking about if you want to beat, you know, the employer that just throws you away, or the employer that outsources your job to another country, or the employer that, I mean, hell, like Microsoft just gets rid of you and then hires an immigrant to come in and do your job. Like, if you want to be one of those people that doesn't have to worry about that stuff, you know, learn to use these, because you can't outsource it, right? The Tesla Optimus robot, you know, that thing's not going to be able to come in and just do what it is. They're not able to build custom furniture. And someday it'll probably be able to, you know, but think like plumbing. Plumbers aren't going to be able to, it's a very difficult thing to outsource that job, right? Building houses, you know, I always tell people, like, get into building houses. You know, the housing market is rough right now, but you go on any job site in America, you can get a job. Like, it's not, they need people all the time. Everybody that works with their hands is constantly looking for help. I literally had a guy today, he was delivering So one of my customers bought a desk off Wayfair, right? The Wayfair site had the desk delivered to our shop. We're going to paint it and then deliver it to her house. I think she's in New York. But anyway, my point is that this guy, he was talking shit about, what a great shipper he is. And I was telling him, like, hey, man, I'm always looking for shippers. I need people to go into these penthouses in New York. Said, man, you can be on the road for a couple days and, man, no interest. It's like, well, what am I going to do? Like, people are always looking for work, but it's hard work. And that's the thing that we got to change that mindset. This idea that you're just going to be able to go into work and be able to hang out on your phone and just kind of chill and not work very hard. Like it's not going to happen. Like it's just not going to, no one's going to take you anymore. Like those days are over. During COVID, I mean, a lot of us we were paying people exorbitant wages just to keep them because we didn't want everyone to be snatching employees. Well, those days are over too. If you're not a hard worker, you don't do a good job, employers are just going to let go of people. Like that's just how it's going to be, So other things I want to talk about, less pleasant things when it comes to dealing with employees. And this is, again, I say this as an employer. I say this as someone who really likes hiring people. I like my crew. I like seeing people develop their skills, make more money, buy houses, cars, all that kind of fun stuff. There is a downside to the employment market today from an employer standpoint. And it really bothers me as someone who always showed up on time, who always volunteered for everything, who always took every opportunity I could possibly get when I worked for another company. I don't see a lot of that today. And I think that's part of what contributes to what we're seeing. Like everyone thinks that they can just work from home or that they can kind of work these flexible schedules and stuff like that. And well, again, if you can get it, great. But truth is that you're all eventually going to get recycled. Like they're going to go with the employee that will show up on time, that isn't going to be a detriment to the work culture, that doesn't, always have money problems, always want tons of extra money, like asking for draws, and just the BS that we have to deal with as employers. So let's talk about this. Okay, so I wrote down a whole bunch of stuff while I was listening to some of these podcasts today. But employees just cost too much, and I say that not as someone that pays a good employee. I say that as someone who pays an average employee. Okay, and what do I mean by that? Okay, what I mean by that is basically if you come to me and you say, you know what, Eric, like I don't have any skills, I really want to learn this job, and I say, great, I'll pay you $20 an hour, and then you do a good job, you show me 6 months you're a good employee, we'll talk about giving you a raise, something along those lines. Employees don't understand that there's a cost associated with the hiring. And they think that it's just that wage, right? And then I've heard this so many times, like, oh, employees aren't paid a living wage. Employees aren't paid this. Employees aren't paid that. Employers are trying to take advantage of employees. I hear that a lot. And while there are plenty of people that do that, it's a complete negotiation, right? It's like, I want to get you for the least amount of money. You want to come work for me for the most amount of money. It's just give and take. But truth is that employers, when there's a good employee, we throw more money at them, because we don't want to have to go look for another employee, right? We don't want to have to rework our work culture. We don't have to, constantly be thinking like, oh, is this employee stealing? Is this employee putting his best foot forward? These kind of things. So we actually give good employees more money. That's the honest truth. But every employee has a lot of costs associated with them that have nothing to do with their wage. And I wrote a bunch of them down because honestly I couldn't remember, right? So everyone knows the wage, right? So say you're making $20 an hour. There's your flat wage, okay? So on top of that, right, the employer has to pay. We have to contribute on the tax side, right? So on the tax side, we're going to have FICA, we're going to have Medicaid, Medicare, all these kind of costs associated with employing you, right? This is basically an employment tax, which is what it is, right? So that's like 7.5%, right? Well, then as an employer, I also have to carry insurance for you. Like you can't just come in here and work for nothing. I have to make sure that if you hurt yourself, you're taken care of. Right, and this is insurance that employers pay into on a state level, and this is a cost as well. And this insurance rate is charged generally based on your payroll, right? So if I've got one employee making $50,000 a year, that's one thing. But if I got 10 employees and my payroll is whatever $300,000 a year, the insurance is so there's a cost associated with that. Above your wage, right? And then if there's healthcare, insurance, 401k, all those kind of things, again, these are all costs that a lot of times are going to be shared with the employee, but for the most part, the employer is going to pay the bulk of that, unless they're, they just can't or whatever reason. But these are costs that are kind of associated with bringing on an employee, and the other thing that a lot of employees don't think about is how do you work with other people, right? When you take away from someone else doing their job, that's a cost, right? When you infect the culture that's a cost, right? There's all these kind of things, Now, there's the other side of the equation. You can bring a ton of value, and that's a whole different discussion, but I'm just trying to lay out the costs of just a mediocre kind of average baseline employee, and these costs, they get kind of expensive. If there's mistakes that are made, that's a cost, right? Not only the person not only the material, right, but the time that you put into that thing. Well, then you got to spend more material and more time to get back to basically being even, right? So there's a cost. You're in the red immediately at that point, So these costs really stack up. And the truth is, I think that employers today they're just like, it's not worth it anymore. By the time because every state kind of has their own minimum wage. I think here in Missouri, we're like, I want to say like $15.80 or something like that. I forget what it is. But if you keep raising this minimum wage, it's more and more risk to bring on an employee, right? Unless you can just, arbitrarily raise your prices, which a lot of businesses can't do, to be completely honest with you. But a lot of employers today, I think, they're just kind of throwing in the towel with a lot of these people. I've talked about this ad nauseum on this cast. We have too many people today that are unemployable. They're not good people, and I don't like to. I don't like to say that like as a human, but as an employer, like it's just they're not employable. They're not good people. They're not honest people. We got a lot of issues there, and I think that if we could develop a partnership where it's the state and the employer, or the federal government and the employer, where we kind of share some of the load and the burden of hiring these unemployable people, you can then teach them skills. And if it doesn't work out, the employer isn't out a shit ton of money, But I don't know what that would be. I've talked about it before, and it's not a popular topic, guys, but it is what it is. So anyway, point is that there's a lot of costs here, okay? Now, there's a lot of employees. You guys have all seen this on the internet, I think, at this point. These people that like to get employed, right? They'll put on a happy face, they'll put on a good show, and then they get hired, and they look to cause trouble, right? Basically what they're looking for is they're looking for a way to get injured, or they're looking for like whistleblower payments, or blackmail. And what they're doing is they're looking to get paid in any way except their salary. They want to get paid in all these different manners, and they're just looking to cause trouble. And there's a lot of that. And it's, again, this is this group of people they're just not good people. They don't want to earn an honest day's wage, and it's a problem, and I think a lot of employers, again, are just like, we're done with this shit. It's just not worth it, right? We would rather make everything overseas, spend the money on, I mean, you guys see the trillions of dollars that companies are putting into AI. They're not putting this money into AI, because they're trying to help humanity. Like, they're not. They want to fire all of you. Like, you all are going to go on UBI, and the employers are just going to sell you shit via the television and this phone, basically, and you'll own nothing and be happy, And again, what I was saying earlier, if you work with these, you're very hard to get rid of. It's going to be very difficult for a company to outsource your job, to replace you with a computer or a robot, because it's very difficult to replace skill. It's very difficult to replace craftsmanship. It's very difficult to replace character. And that's another thing. I mean, I didn't write that down, but the whole character conversation, and again, as I say this as an employer, we just have a lot of people today that they've got no character. There's a lack of integrity, and it's a real problem, because truth is that employers, people like us who do things like me as a furniture maker. I'm sure some of you guys can relate to this, but as a furniture maker, like, I've been doing this shit for 25 years at this point, and all I want to do is find my prodigy. Like, that's all I want. I just want someone to come in, want to learn, and just fucking kill it. Like, I really want this person to pick up the skills and just dwarf whatever I've been able to do, right? Like, I dwarf my stepdad. I want someone to come in and dwarf me. And I want them to just crush it. I want to pay them tons of money, and I want them to be the greatest furniture maker that ever existed. But can't find anyone that wants to do that. They just want a paycheck. They want to get and collect that paycheck, go home and do whatever it is. I don't know what people do these days, but they don't want to be masters of what it is they do. They don't want to be the best at anything, and the stuff that they do want to do, nobody wants to pay for. It's just we call it mental masturbation. Like, that's how a lot of people operate, and it's too bad, So there's a lot of opportunities today if you want to be a master craftsperson, or you want to be a very high skilled individual that works with their hands. A lot of companies, they're looking for people that want to be tradespeople, learn HVAC, learn to be my dad's a lifelong welder, welded on a lot of really cool projects. I've worked on all the most amazing aircraft you could ever think of, the most high-profile planes in the world. I've worked on most of them, and that stuff's really cool. But you don't get to do that if you're a fuck up, right? Like you gotta be able to pass drug tests. You gotta be able to pass background tests. You gotta not be afraid to talk to the FBI. You gotta get along with people, because the truth is that, like, and I've talked about this before, and this is kind of old man ranting here, but when I was coming up as a tradesman, a cabinet maker, furniture maker, whatever you want to call it, the person that was training me was just a master. Like, I want to say he was like 70 years old. Really old guy's named Bob Baird. He died. But point is that he didn't like working with anyone. He just thought that all the kids were punks and nobody wanted to listen to him. And he was a crotchety old bastard, to be quite honest with you. He'd hit you with his hat all the time. But I just tolerated this old man and just learned all the stuff that he could do. And truth is this guy was in with all, like, the Boeing Defense Center, which we used to have there in Wichita, Kansas. I mean, he was the guy that got to work on all the Saudi aircraft. Saudis only fly 747s, so we got to work on some really cool planes, and it was because I kind of endeared myself to this old crotchety man who was kind of an old wizard, basically, and worked out great. And there's lots of people like that, guys. Like, there's so many people today that are at HVAC companies, that are cabinet makers, furniture makers, welders, old, people that are loggers, that all they want to do is teach the next crop of kids how to do this stuff. But kids don't want to do this shit. They just want to play on their phones. They want to make that easy, sweet, sweet money. And it doesn't exist, guys. Like, it's gone. That money is over. And it's too bad. And another thing I wrote down that I want to talk about real quick was this whole idea of banking, right? So, truth is that a lot of large corporations have access to just mad amounts of money. Like, you guys cannot even fathom how much access to credit large corporations have. I mean, like, credit lines that you cannot even fathom. And small business has none of that. So the small business game is so freaking hard because of the way the credit markets work right now. Like, I've talked to you guys about crack loans forever, about how difficult it is to get money as a small business owner, which is why you have to learn sales, right? You have to be charismatic. You have to basically, what's the tropey say? You have to, under promise and over deliver, those kind of things. Like, yeah, you have to do that stuff forever, because there's no financing for your grandiose ideas. Like, cash flow is the only thing that gets you where you want to be, or these crack loans I'm talking about. But these large corporations they've clamped down on banking. Like, the banks pander to the big corporations, the corporations pander to the banks, and it squeezes out everybody. And I've talked about it, ad nauseum again on these podcasts or podcast streams, whatever we're calling them. It's very difficult for small businesses to get money. So even if you wanted to start a small business, it's a tough boat to row, as they say, just because of the lack of capital. You can go get a student loan, right? You can go learn about art history and get $150,000. But if you have been doing HVAC for 5 years, you're a journeyman, and you want to go start your own business, there's no fucking money for you. And this is something that is brought about by banking policy, by large corporations. They do not want the competition. And I use HVAC just because it's kind of my industry is tradesmen. But it could be anything you want to do as a business owner. You're kind of host. It doesn't matter how experienced you are. There's only certain things you can get money for. You got to be a large corporation. You got to be a dumb kid who's 18 years old, has no fucking idea what he wants to do. Can have all the money in the world. But if you're experienced at something and you have an idea, there's no money. So anyway, it's kind of a personal beef I have with this situation. But anyway, that's kind of what I want to talk about today. It's getting frustrating, and once the corporations cut themselves free of all these employees, they can do all kinds of goofy shit. Like, I don't know if you guys remember during the pandemic, you had a lot of corporate pandering to all these different, like Black Lives Matter, and I think there was a George Floyd thing at one point, and then they've got like your different, gay pride stuff and Women's History Month. You have all these things. Corporations love that stuff, and they want to pander to it because it's good for their bottom line, for the moment. Never mind that it like alienates half their customers or half their employees. But you get rid of the employees, well, you're just left with the customers, and that's really all they care about, is getting that sweet money. And I think that's a lot of what they want to do. They want to just be able to pander left and right. And without employees, you can get away with a lot more if you don't have to worry about your employees holding you accountable for anything, So I don't know. It's kind of frustrating what's going on, but I don't tell you guys, like, it's just, you're gonna have to work with your hands. I see it more and more. It's the only thing that's gonna make it through this AI thing and this I won't call it a foreign invasion, but like all this foreign labor coming into America. It's only going to survive, I think. And again, no degree, no high school diploma, no nothing. Just worked really hard, and work has always been the thing that has been in vogue. Quality and working with their hands, it's never gone away. There's never been anybody that's anyway. It is what it is. I'll go through comments real quick, and then we'll probably call this talk good for the day. Like I said, it's my first talk back. I've been gone for about 10 days. Like I said, it's just been too hot to stay here. A lot of work going on, a lot of crotch mahogany cabinets being built right now, and I'm working on my deck. A lot of deck work at home. So anyway, okay. Let's see the last couple comments here. BM Custom. See, I'm working on an American oak bedroom set at the moment. That's fantastic, man. So you said American oak. So is it red oak, white oak? What kind of oak is? I know white oak's real popular. We got a lot of people that are. What are they doing? They're doing that, they call it is it called liming or something like that, where you put that white shit in the grain, and it looks pretty cool, Put a little bit of satin over the top of it, man. It's pretty nice looking finish. I don't know what I think it's called liming maybe, but anyway, no, that's cool. Yeah, an American. So I'm kind of curious, BM, what your when you say a bedroom suite at the moment, like, are these designs off your website? Do you work for an American furniture manufacturer that has all their designs? Like, I'm curious how that works. Do you get a purchase order with drawings, or you get a work order with drawings? I'm always curious, like, what turns you on to do your job? Obviously for me, it's going to be a customer ordering something off our website, or a custom design, which I'll draw up in SolidWorks, and then I get the okay from the customer, get payment, and then throw it in the production line and get after it. So it's a little bit different than I think a lot of people, but I haven't done the commercial, like the really large scale furniture making. I've done like the smaller stuff, but definitely not the bigger stuff. So anyway, okay, I think that I got through everyone today. So anyway, I appreciate everyone hanging out and coming back for the feed. It's the first one back, so I'll continue trying to do these around 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, something like that. And again, it's a good way just to sit down and get out of the dust for a minute and just kind of shoot the shit with everyone and see how things are going. So I hope everyone's doing good, and stay cool, everyone, and we'll do this again tomorrow. So have a good night.